It's Tuesday, so it's primary day for a handful of states across the country, with voters set to make their voices heard in several key races. And there's also a major development in the race for L.A. mayor.
Alex Hogan is also going to make her voice heard right now because she's got the details from Washington for us. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. I do have the details. So as voters waited to see who would face off with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass in the November runoff, the results are in for Los Angeles' mayoral race. So progressive city council member Nithya Raman edging ahead. So she will advance, and that means that former reality TV star Spencer Pratt is out after a campaign that garnered national attention. Voters are also waiting on the results of the Golden State's governor's race. Former State Attorney General Xavier Becerra is in the lead, although two candidates will emerge in the race, Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Tom Steyer still in the running as California counts those remaining votes. And new votes ahead. Primary races will take place in Nevada, North Dakota, and South Carolina and Maine today. Maine is expected to play a critical role in deciding control of both chambers. Democrat candidate Graham Platner's campaign has been plagued by scandal coverage, including after 3 women came forward in a New York Times article saying that they had been involved with him, describing the relationship as toxic and volatile. Bernie Sanders addressed those accusations yesterday, standing by Platner on the eve of the primary.
So to my mind, I don't know what is true or not true. He denies it. She says something else. But what I do know is that there are people in the United States Senate right now who are not saints. I can tell you that.
And Republican Susan Collins, she is seeking her 6th term. She's running unopposed. Democrats are hoping to flip that seat. And that, of course, Carly and Todd, is an effort to gain control of the U.S. Senate. Carly, Todd.
That's quite an accusation by Bernie Sanders there, calling some of his fellow senators Nazis. More on that in the coming days, weeks, and months. Alex, thank you. Let's bring in political commentator Stephanie Hamill. Stephanie, we are expecting Platner to win. At this point, it all comes down to the margin of victory. So what will you be watching for tonight when it comes to that margin of victory?
Hi, Todd. We're definitely going to be looking at the numbers, right? So far, we've seen him dominating in all of the polling when it comes to the Democratic primary, like overwhelming numbers, like 60, 70%. So if those numbers actually come true, that'll leave us asking, where is the Democratic Party today? Where are these Democratic voters in Maine? How are they supporting a candidate that has this much baggage? And they've had months to learn about all of it. I mean, you've addressed some of it, like the Nazi tattoos, his issues with women and these women coming forward with allegations. Remember, this is the party of Me Too. Once upon a time, they used to believe all women, no matter what, but apparently that's out the window when it comes to supporting their Democratic candidate that they think can take on Susan Collins in November.
What if it's closer than many people expect? What if a lot of people end up picking Janet Mills just because they have name recognition with her, even though she technically suspended her campaign?
That is something else we'll be looking at, is the fact that there could be potentially these protest votes. As you pointed out, she is still on the ballot, and there are certainly so many Democrats that are concerned in Maine about all of these scandals that are plaguing this candidate. So how big those numbers will be, we're going to find out. But I think that matters, right? I think overall, the big picture is that Platner isn't just the only candidate that is far leftist with a ton of baggage that we've seen being promoted by the Democratic Party across the country. So, yeah, that is something that it's going to matter. If you look at the polling between Susan Collins and Platner in these hypothetical matchups for November, Susan Collins is trailing like 8 points, right, which maybe makes a difference, maybe not. In her last election, the polling was really similar, and she was still able to win that election. So that is something that people will be looking at.
Before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts on this. A scathing takedown by someone who used to actually be inside the Platner campaign. His former political director, quote, "I know firsthand why Graham Platner shouldn't be a U.S. Senator. I quit the campaign in October, disturbed by what I learned about the candidate and concerned about his potential impact on the Democratic Party's prospects in my home state. Graham Platner is not someone who would be good for Maine or for the country. He exhibits a pattern of dishonest behavior that is impossible to ignore. Stephanie, why are Democrat voters and elected leaders seemingly ignoring that warning and voting for him anyway?
Because they think that he's going to do the job. They think that this is the best candidate to put against Susan Collins. I'm not really sure why. It is crazy to me that they could support a candidate like this, because if you think about if there were any Republican candidate that had this type of baggage, they would have to drop out of the race. But for some reason, this is like not happening in this situation. So, it's not great to have former employees or people that you've dated or people that you know say these type of things about you to the media. Now, of course, you sometimes want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I hate piling on people based on allegations and all of these things. But the Democrats never had a problem when it came to piling on Republicans for allegations and anything said by former employees and so on. So it's like hypocrisy, right?
Double standard.
It's so hypocritical.
Yeah, absolutely
so
a double standard there, Stephanie. But we will obviously see what happens tonight. Stephanie, thank you. Appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.